Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I of course am the FPL Train, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at 3 possible transfers we can make ahead of game week 2. Now obviously not make all 3, that's mental. You might want to make one change because you've had an awful game week 1, you might have made some bad decisions. So we're going to be taking a look at 3 possible transfers, 1 defender, 1 midfielder and 1 attacker. And so the first player on here that I've got is Levi Colwill of Chelsea. Now, obviously Chelsea did lose the first game against Man City 2-0, but I think they played quite well, which was quite surprising. Obviously, they did play more of like a 3 central defensive midfielders. Well, not exactly defensive, but Fernandes has usually been known to play defensive. Anyway, they did play very defensive against Man City, which you can understand because they are the best team in the league. And Levi Colwill did obviously start that game, as did Wesley Fofana. Both of them are at 4.5 million. I've gone for Colwill though ahead of Fofana in terms of players to bring in, just because Fofana is known to be injury prone for one, and you know, I think there's probably more competition on his side, but then again, Chelsea could easily rotate, so that is the big gamble, and that's probably why as well he's only 0.9% owned Colwill currently right now. I mean, the biggest, well, the most owned defender out of Chelsea is Cucurella at 6.5%. Everybody else is, apart from Gusto at 3.3, but he'll probably get sold soon because Reece James is going to be back soon. He's obviously got that suspension, so as soon as he's back, he'll probably go down below 1% like the rest of them. So yeah, Colwill is the guy who I reckon we should go for. I mean, look, if you want to go for Gusto, that's fine. But like I just mentioned, Reece James is coming back on the, I think it's the 14th of September. Now that, I mean, in terms of when that is, I have to have a look. That's like game week 4 against Bournemouth. So another reason to probably avoid Gusto, although he will probably have a better chance of getting maybe an assist or some kind of attacking return. So there is that option. But I fancy Levi Colwill. I mean, last season, when we were looking at doing our teams, I mentioned this guy over and over again because I think he's an absolute quality defender. And the fact that he started is very promising. And it was against Man City, so it's the strongest team in the league and he started. So that must mean the manager fancies him and Fofana. And when you look ahead now to Chelsea's fixtures, now they've got rid of that awful fixture against Man City. Look at what they've got coming up. It is absolutely delightful if you want to have a Chelsea defender in there. So game week 2, Wolves away. Now Wolves have got rid of a couple of their key players, so they, I still think, are weaker than they were last season. Then you got Crystal Palace in game week 3. Now transfer window still not over. By then they could easily lose Eze and Guehi. They've already lost Elise, and then they've also now lost Anderson. So they've lost 2 key players in my opinion. They could lose another 2, and that will make them even weaker. And obviously this game is at Stamford Bridge. Bournemouth away, I mean, I still think they're now weaker than they were last season as well, with Slanky being out, so I think they're going to be less attacking. That's obviously great because this is a Chelsea defender we're talking about. West Ham, I'm not going to lie, I mean, they've got it down FPL as a green fixture. I would probably change that to more of a grey, like an amber kind of thing. I think this is by far their trickiest fixture, and the fact that it's being played away from home for Chelsea is not ideal, but still, they could come away with a 1-0 win that. I mean, obviously, they've had one game, and we don't know how Maresca's going to, you know, handle this team, so it could go badly wrong by that point, but it's still a decent enough fixture. And then Brighton in game week 6 is at home as well. So, you know, and I will like to say as well, game week 7, they do have Nottingham Forest at home, so that's a double home fixtures in 6 and 7. So they've got a great start to the season, and it looks, I mean, when you see all green in terms of what fixtures are coming up, you've got to surely have at least one defender. And for me, it's Colwill. Not going to lie though, game week 4, if Reece James does start, if it was me personally, I would try and get Reece James in because I think that guy's phenomenal. But for now, for game weeks 2 and 3, and you know, looking forward, I will definitely go for somebody like Levi Colwill. So in terms of what midfielder to bring in, look, there's so many different options to go for. On here, as you can see, I've gone for Kevin De Bruyne, 9.5 million. So yeah, he is a little bit expensive, not going to lie. But look, people are not going for, De Bruyne. He's 8.3% currently right now, and the reason is people aren't sure if he's going to be playing every game. But when you look at the start of the season, you're literally pretty much playing once a week. There's no like cup games really. So when you're looking at the fixtures Man City have got, he's obviously just played the first game, against Chelsea. He did play 90 minutes as well. It's not like he got hooked off after 70. Alvarez is now gone. Obviously the transfer window's not closed, and people like Gundogan, for example, look like they are going to be returning to City. So that could possibly be an issue, but for now, I mean, this is Kevin De Bruyne. The guy is unreal. And when you're looking at the next 3 fixtures in particular for Kevin De Bruyne, Ipswich at home in game week 2, I would definitely, if you got the money, if you got a way of getting him, get Kevin De Bruyne in for game week 2, because I reckon him and Haaland are going to cause chaos. No offence to Ipswich, but it's the fact that it's at the Etihad, but I think they're going to cause chaos there. So definitely look at getting him in, because he's only 8.3% at home, man. So you could absolutely smash it if he does well against Ipswich. And then they've got, West Ham away, which isn't exactly the easiest, but I think they'll beat them there. And then Brentford at home, and I think Brentford are also slightly weaker than they were last season, just because it looks like Ivan Toney's going to be gone by that point. So I know obviously they did lose to Brentford a couple of seasons ago because Ivan Toney was getting those goals, and if he's gone, it makes it a little bit easier for Man City. Obviously, game week 5 and 6 is a little bit more trickier with Arsenal at home and Newcastle away. The Arsenal game though is at home, so that's an advantage for Man City, and Arsenal I think will just try and shut up shop and just try and get that point. But Newcastle away, I still think they can do damage there, even though it is at St James's Park. And once again, this is Man City. They've just won 4 league titles in a row. So is any game difficult? Not really, unless they get so many injuries. I think they'll be absolutely fine. So at such a low ownership rate, this guy could cause serious damage. So yeah, for me, I think Kevin De Bruyne, why not just take the gamble on him? So the final transfer on here, I've gone for the forward in Chris Wood of Nottingham Forest. Now this one, you could easily just say right now, oh, this is just because he scored in game week 1, there's no real thought about it. But if anybody looked at my past videos, not many people, but if anybody did, they would see that I was recommending, not exactly Chris Wood, but other Nottingham Forest players because of the start of the season that they've got. Now granted, in my differential video, which barely be watched anyway, I did say a one year, but it looks like Chris Wood is going to be the main guy that's going to start. But obviously he has been known for injuries in the past. But like we just mentioned before, he did score in the first game for Forest against Bournemouth. He's now got a great game coming up. Southampton away. Can he score? I don't see why not. Wolves is nice. Yes, Liverpool is going to be the tricky one, so I would probably recommend just benching him for that game. 5, you're looking at Brighton. 6, you got Fulham. Obviously, it only goes to 6 here, but I'll just say 7, they've got Chelsea, which, yeah, I could see him scoring there. And then 8, 9, and 10, they've got Crystal Palace, Leicester City, and West Ham United. So right up to game week 10, you've got some tasty fixtures there for Chris Wood. He's already scored once, so he's going to be full of confidence. And, I just have a thing. He could score, feeling, should I say, he's going to score goals. 6.5% owned currently right now, so he's still not that highly owned currently as we speak, so he might be worth going for, because I know most people at the minute are going to have Haaland and they're probably going to have Isak. So who's that first striker going to be? A lot of people are either at the minute going for Solanke or maybe even Havertz or Watkins. Why not go for Chris Wood? He's cheaper than all of them. His fixtures are so much better than the others. Why not go for the gamble? You may as well. He's already scored once this season, like I just said. He's going to be full of confidence, and especially game week 2, Southampton away, I really think he can, score a couple of goals there. So somebody definitely to look at putting your team for game week 2 onwards. So that's it then for this video. Those are the 3 possible transfers I would recommend you bringing in if you have any issues in certain positions. Colwell, I think, would be brilliant. De Bruyne, worth a punt. And, Chris Wood, why not go for it while he's got good fixtures right now? Because he's not going to be in your team all season. So those are the 3 players I'd recommend bringing in for game week 2. Let me know what you think of these transfers. Let me know what transfer you're thinking of doing. Please as well, if you do like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, smack subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one.